Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dark Souls 2 walkthrough. So in the last episode we did the tutorial and created our character and everything, and in this episode it is time to make our way out of Things Betwixt into one of the most gorgeous areas in the game. Behold, Majula. This will be our home for the game. It's quite a bit more nice than Firelink Shrine from the first game. It's a lovely area on the coast. Look at the beautiful water and the beautiful sunset. Or is that sunrise? Who knows? And you get some lovely music. The music of Majula is quite different to the music of Firelink. It's maybe a bit more uplifting, I'd say. It's quite nice. So down here, there will be an item. Over here. Get a Morning Star and a Cleric Sacred Chime. Good for you people who want to use some miracles. And over here, some binoculars, which are a weapon in this game, weirdly enough. But just like the first game, they're not used for any sort of combat, they're just used to look into the distance and aim spells. Pretty handy. Over here will be our main bonfire. This will be our main home for the game. So have a seat and get comfortable. You'll likely be spending the rest of your life here. Now, we have quite a few people to talk to in this area. Unlike the first game, there's quite a few people to talk to already here at this stage of the game. So prepare for an awful lot of talking, starting with this character.
Are you the next monarch? Or merely a pawn of fate? Bearer of the curse, I will remain by your side till this frail hope shatters. Take this with you. May it ease your journey.
The Estus Flask. There we go.
Go on and see the king. He who made Drangleic what it once was. He who peered at the essence of the soul. King Vendrick.
So there we go. So just like the first game, the Estus Flask are your primary healing item. They're not as good in this game, they're a bit slower and they don't heal as fast, or as much I don't think, but they are still pretty useful. And also, this is how you level up in this game. You level up at this character. She is called the Emerald Warden and she is the most important NPC in the game. And we have our quest to seek King Vendrick, the King of Drangleic. So we will find him somewhere out there in this mysterious land.
Bearer of the curse, seek misery. For misery will lead you to greater, stronger souls. You will never meet the king with a soul so frail and pallid.
Indeed, my soul right now is weak, frail, and pallid, so I need to seek powerful beings and claim their souls in order to grow strong. Only then can we meet the king.
Seek those whose names are unutterable, the four endowed with immense souls. Their souls will serve as beacons. Once you have found them, return here to me, so that hope will not fade away.
Indeed.
Bearer of the curse, seek souls, larger, more powerful souls. Seek the king. That is the only way. Lest this land swallow you whole, as it has so many others.
Just like the first game, this game is pretty dark. The feeling of hopelessness, if anything, is stronger in this game. But we must not let it fade away. So, stats. Time to explain the stats of this game. For the most part, they're the same as the first game, but there's a few differences. So Vigor, this is your HP, just like the first game. Nothing too different there. Endurance. Now, endurance, pretty similar to the first game, but there is a slight difference. In this game, it doesn't raise your equipment load. That's actually been split up. So in this game, equipment load is now vitality, which is this one here. So now you have to raise both these independently, which makes endurance not quite as overpowered as the first game, so that's good. Attunement, this will give you spell slots, of course, and also casting speed, unlike the first game, because that's the thing, speed about a lot of things in this game is stat related, which I don't really like, but it is what it is. Strength, this is pretty similar to the first game, not much to really talk about there. Dexterity, again, pretty similar to the first game, not too much different. Adaptability, now this is an important stat. This is not resistance from the first game, this is much more important. This will raise all of your resistances, but it will also raise your agility and poise. Or at least combined with endurance, it will raise your poise. You have to raise both endurance and adaptability to raise poise, but adaptability raises your agility. Now agility is basically the speed at which you do a lot of things. It determines your speed at which you roll, I believe. It determines the speed at which you use items like Estus Flask, and of course most importantly it affects your invincibility frames when rolling. So more adaptability means more invincibility frames. So better rolling. So adaptability is very important. I recommend going up to about 24 at least, but 30 is probably a good amount. If you want the same amount of invincibility frames as the first game, you need about 26, I think. So anyway, then there's intelligence, which again, pretty similar to the first game, and faith, again, pretty similar to the first game. So I'm going to be getting some nothing yet. Actually, no, I will. I'll get some vigor, just so I can have nice even stats. I like nice even stats, what can I say? And she will also upgrade your Estus Flask. Now, this isn't to upgrade the amount it heals, this is to upgrade the amount you have, because you start off with only one Estus Flask in this game. So in order to get more, you have to find things called Estus Flask shards, which are scattered all throughout the world. So, whenever you find them, bring them back here, and you can get more. Very, very important. And you can go up to a maximum of like 12, something like that. So quite a lot. And again, there's no kindling in this game, so you're going to need those 12.
Over the hill and past the forest is the king's castle, where a man peered straight into the essence of the soul. But whatever came of it? Those who come to Dranglake seeking salvation soon lose hope and turn hollow. It happens to them all, sooner or later. That blue knight at the base of the tower, his spirit is already broken. Although he does offer sound advice. Perhaps he is a foreshadowing of your own future.
Perhaps indeed.
That tiny thing inside the ruins. An ancient being that will mock your very existence. She imparts sound wisdom, provided you find her on a good day.
Well, let's hope I have.
The sign you bear will drain your very souls. And without souls, you will turn hollow. Stay strong. Do not lose hope. Even when you have precious little time. For when the undead dies, it is never truly dead, but only one step closer to hollowing. Not all undead are hollows, but all hollows were once undead.
Indeed, the fate of the cursed, to end up hollow.
If you find an Estus shard, bring it to me, so that I may ease your burden. Over the hill and path where... but what?
And that's it. So, that's all the Emerald Warden has to say to us. Lots of sound advice. But speaking of sound advice, there's more. This fellow up here. So, before I talk to him, let us examine this. No deaths worldwide. That's a lie. Currently I am offline, that's why there's no messages or bloodstains on the ground, because currently I think the servers are bugging out a bit. But yeah, this will read out the amount of deaths worldwide that have happened in the game, and it's somewhere in the billions, I believe. Billions or the 100 millions. It's pretty insane. It's a lot of deaths, because this game, again, just like the first, is hard as nails. So, who are you, Mr. Man?
You're undead, aren't you? You have that distinct scent, the smell of irreversible fate. This is Majula. It is a kind of settlement. A place where life is almost normal. And in Drang Lake these days, there are very few places like that.
Indeed.
I am Solden. And like you, I lost everything. And now I'm here. You probably heard that it was possible to break the curse here. Well, that's not true at all. There's nothing here for you, me, or anybody.
So, Solden. So you may notice that voice is a bit familiar. Solden is basically this game's version of the Crestfallen Warrior from the first game. But unlike the Crestfallen Warrior from the first game, Solden he's a bit more positive, for lack of a better word. And also he's much more friendly than the first game. So yeah, I like Solden a lot more.
Do you know much about souls? Even I'm not certain, but I'm told that the soul is the essence of life itself. Anything living, sentient or no, supposedly has one. What we call the curse is traceable to the soul. Do you see what that means? To be alive, to walk this earth. That's the real curse, right there. We undead will never die. And that's quite a predicament, really.
Indeed. Immortality sucks. Who would really want to be immortal?
There are 4 beings in this land with giant souls. And wherever you go from here, you'll sooner or later come up against them. Each has a powerful soul and a terrible curse. If that frightens you, then you ought to just give up right now, like I have.
I'm not scared.
Do you ever cry out for help? The journey of an undead is long and treacherous. You'll face invaders from other worlds at every turn. If you need help, why not proclaim faith in the Blue Sentinels? When you face danger, the Blue Sentinels will come to your aid. Protection is yours, if you wish. You need only accept their kind embrace.
So, the first covenant of the game, the Way of Blue. So, with this covenant, if you join it, then you will be able to proclaim faith to the Blue Sentinels, and that means that if you get invaded, then a Blue Sentinel could be summoned to your world to protect you from the invader. So it's pretty good for people who are like newbies.
That is a wise decision. People are weak, but the Blue Sentinels watch over us in their benevolence. Let the Sentinels cradle you in their embrace.
I will indeed. So that blue seal that he gave us, that is a ring, it will slightly boost your HP and will also allow you to have Blue Sentinels summoned to you when you're in trouble. So, quite nice covenant.
Do you feel lonely here? It suits me just fine, as I've nothing left anyway. It will grow on you, this place. Give it some time.
I hope it will. A welcome gesture. There we go. Welcome to Dark Souls 2.
Do you see the way beyond the bonfire? That will take you to the forest of the giants. There was once a great fort, but little of it remains. You may just find something there that will be of use on your journey. But don't venture too far inside, or you might not come back. Hade's Tower of Flame lies beyond the far gate. In the cathedral, the Apostles of Blue gather. But the road leading there is perilous. The gate is rigged with some contraption. But how it works, I just don't know. Have you seen that pit, that gaping hole in the earth? I don't know what it's like down below, but I wouldn't suggest trying to find out. Besides, you'll never make it down there, not without a ladder of some sort. The flame you see there is a bonfire. They exist all across the land, beacons to we undead. If you are tired, try resting beside the flame. The flame heals us. Long ago, a woman called a firekeeper watched over each bonfire. She kept the flame lit and guarded it from those who would extinguish it. I wonder where the firekeepers went.
'Tis a mystery.
Did you notice any letters on the ground on the way here? These are messages that have jumped the fissures between worlds. In Drang Lake, the flow of time is convoluted. Things shift and waver, twist and turn. Poignant wishes, dashed dreams, the messages convey our very inner thoughts. If your will to soldier on falters, try leaving a message. Somebody out there is sure to listen.
Indeed, I'd love to see those messages, but unfortunately the servers said no.
You may notice symbols that appear upon the ground. These are summon signatures. They call upon spirits from other worlds through the schisms in time. If you fear hollows, find summon signatures to call upon spirits to help you. Do you see the way? There was you,
And that's all he has to say.
May you find peace on your journey.
You too, Solden. So, that was a lot of information. The letters are worn beyond recognition. So yes, that was a lot of information. So a thing to know about Dark Souls 2 is that, unlike Dark Souls 1, which starts off linear and then becomes non-linear later, in Dark Souls 2 it actually starts off non-linear and becomes linear later. Although I say it's non-linear, it's still, like, pretty much impossible to go certain ways, rather than other ways. But it is mostly non-linear at the start, which is quite interesting. Who are you, Mr. Green Man?
Who are you? Oh, it doesn't matter. Just help me open this door. I packed my tools in here, seeing it was vacant. But now somebody's gone and locked the door.
It's locked. Cursed door.
I'm a blacksmith. I'm nothing without my tools. Bring me that key. Chop chop.
You think I'm like your servant or something? Well, fine, I'll get you a key, just because I like you. Right, over here, there is an item. Get a life gem. These will be your primary healing items if you're not using Estus Flask. Let me just equip my Estus Flask a second. You have 10 item slots in this game as opposed to the first game, where you only had 5. So yeah, you can have a lot more on your hotbar. Although it does mean that your hotbar can get a bit crowded. And up here, get some homeward bones, very nice. And this is a special thing. This is Victor's Stone, it's a covenant, but what it does basically is that it will put you on the path of the mighty covenant, or path of something covenant. And basically that will make everything in the game a lot harder. It will make enemies tougher, it will make them do more damage, and also it will mean that enemies never stop respawning, so they respawn infinitely. It's good for grinding, but yeah, it's pretty tough. And you can join that if you want a nice challenge, but I've never tried it because it sounds terrifying, and I'd rather not. So, in here... Who is this? There's a cat. Who are you?
Oh, undead are we? And one without much time remaining. Just about ready to fall apart, I'd say. Not exactly the time to be chatting with a cat. Well, suit yourself. Oh yes, you may call me Shalqua. Enchanté. So, what did you want anyway? Ooh, you smell wonderful.
Sweet Shalqua, she's anything but sweet. I hate this cat. Absolutely hate her. Whatever. And I don't even dislike cats, I like cats. So anyway, she will sell you various rings. The Ring of the Evil Eye, absorb HP from foes, just like the first game. The Silver Cat Ring, very important ring, reduce damage from falling, which is actually really important. I will be needing that later. It's very expensive though. Red Eye Ring, easier to be detected by enemies, good for multiplayer. The Name Engrave Ring, easier to connect to players who choose the same covenant, or same god as it says, which is not too useful, but it might be useful, I'm not sure. But I don't think it's too useful. And the Ring of Whispers, a very interesting ring. You can hear the voices of foes. So if you wear that around enemies, then you will hear growling and stuff, which makes it easier to know if there's enemies nearby. But it also has a unique use that I will be demonstrating much later. And she also sells Homeward Bones, Prism Stones, Alluring Skulls, and Lloyd's Talismans. Only 10 of each though. Because sometimes merchants in this game will actually have limited inventory, as opposed to the first game where they pretty much never had limited inventory. And she can also let you abandon your covenant, interestingly, and she can also show you your ranks in all the covenants. Just like the first game, you can rank up in the covenants in this game as well. Alright, let us talk with you, you stupid cat.
This place is already dead. Everything will crumble and waste away so that something new may be born. Isn't it wonderful?
Why are you such a dick?
This place is fascinating. We receive only the most peculiar visitors. Folk like yourself. It's enough to keep even a cat amused. Are you going to see the old ones? Those 4 who have grown so incredibly ancient. They must have sprouted quite a thick coat of moss by now. For heaven's sake, no one even knows their names anymore. Imagine that. Yes, nothing like yourself. For you have a most pleasant scent. It grows nicer with each passing day. Have you made friends with the man by the sea? He's lost everything. Absolutely everything. The only thing he's good for now is a few tidbits on covenants. Covenants are a type of, well, contract, you might say. You give something to gain something. That's the way humans like it, right? It might be just the thing you need. But what does a cat know?
Why are you such a mocking dick?
Did you see that oddly formed rock behind here? Long ago they called it Victor Stone, as I recall. If you wish to face greater challenges, speak to the rock. Although, you'd just as well not.
Thank you, I won't be going to, and I already knew that.
This place is already nothing suited you, I presume? Well, that's dismaying.
Shut up, you stupid cat. Hate you. Now, you may have noticed this big old hole, Sparta style. This is not going to be said, because it's overdone. And down there are some items. Now, you can go down this hole later, and with the silver cat ring I don't think you even need a ladder of some kind. So yeah, but I wouldn't recommend going down there right now because you will die. And this is locked, can't go in there. And over here, bash this rock and a body. Get an Estus shard, nice little booster for the start. And round there are some pigs. I don't recommend you fight those pigs, they will kick your ass. They're a lot tougher than they look. So in here, who are you, Mr. Man?
Hello there. Welcome to my shop. I'm Morlin, and I sell armor. Oh, sorry, Please do have a look at my wares. I could really use the business. If you'd be so kind.
Morlin the armourer. So he will sell you some standard shields, which is pretty nice. Shields in this game are not as good as they were in the first game. They're a bit less stable, I think, but for the most part they don't deflect as much damage. So yeah, shields overall are not as good in this game as they were in the first game. But that's okay, because in the first game they were a little overpowered. And he also sells some simple armor sets, which is quite nice. And he will also sell boss armor as the game goes on, so that's pretty nice.
I came from the west, from Volgan. Have you been there? It's a lively place, vibrant with trade. Very competitive, of course. And you have to grease the wheels to get anywhere. But I didn't have the funding for that, so I left home in hopes of striking gold. It's been years since then, and I've made very little headway. I don't even know why I'm still here. Everything's all run down and dying. It's terrible for business, really.
Sad.
A group calling themselves the Blue Sentinels have gained much power in Volgan. You can't even run a shop without their blessing. They claim to be working for the greater good, but it's absolute hogwash. Oh, by the gods, why the hell am I here? Well, I do hope I see you again.
Sorry, Morlin, I don't have any souls right now, but I will come back to you, I promise. It's pretty sad. He's just failing in his business and doesn't even know why he's even still here, or why he even came here in the first place. Anyway, get a Titanite shard up here, just like the first game. Titanite will be used to upgrade your weapons. There isn't a coloured Titanite in this game like in the first game, so you don't have to worry about that. Now, thing to know about Morlin is that as you buy more stuff from him, his shop will actually upgrade. So yeah, it's good to buy stuff from him. I think it's like 1,500 souls for his first upgrade and like 10,000 souls or something like that for his second upgrade. So yeah, pretty expensive, but it is worth it because he unlocks some cool stuff. Okay, I think that is it for the for Majula. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is everything. So this is quite a dry episode, guys, but there is much to be explored in the next episode. There is much to be done in this mysterious land. So, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.